and welcome to Freak Out to Chill Out. This evening we are going to be talking about resilience. So what does that mean? And how do we develop that in ourselves if we haven't already? And many people think that to obtain or achieve resilience, you need to have already been through trauma and survived. So what does that do for those of us who haven't yet been through trauma and a big shift, a big change occurs? Does that mean we all get sidewiped by the change? Or can we learn some skills for ourselves to help us deal with the change that's occurring in our lives? So this is a pretty good time in the history of the 21st century, or our current culture and society, to learn resilience if we haven't already, or even to discuss it. What do you think resilience means for yourself? And I do invite you at this. I do invite you at this point to think about that. What does resilience mean to you? What do you think you are able to do if you're somebody who is considered resilient? And from that perspective, while you're thinking about it for yourself, I'd like to share with you what my experience of resilience is, and the experience of my children, who I assess to be quite resilient in the face of change. So I think change is the big thing in resilience. It's not necessarily trauma. Although some change is traumatic, I think change in itself is enough to require resilience for you to navigate. So far this year we've had in Australia bushfires, then we've had the slow and gradual shutting down of our human connection and our economy as a consequence of coronavirus. And now we're going back the other way and opening up our social interaction and our economy as step by step businesses start to reopen or expand their function, and our capacity to reconnect with the world once again expands. So they're big changes, and we should never underestimate them. And at the same time, there's an ongoing discussion in social media, particularly, but even outside of social media, about the veracity of coronavirus, about the manipulation of the information that we receive, the conspiracies, and also whether we actually need to be shutting down and having social distancing and such things. So they are on top of the existing changes that we're experiencing. And some have said, some commentators have said that these conspiracies have increased in their popularity as a consequence of people's fear management. We are managing our fear by perhaps believing in the conspiracies, by reducing the danger that we may be facing if coronavirus is as contagious and difficult as has been predicted. And I think that dealing with all of that requires us to have a little bit of resilience. No matter which side of the fence we sit on, whether we are pro-conspiracy or whether we have been looking at different sources of information. And one of the things I do want to say is that regardless of whether we believe or whether we agree with the laws around social distancing and so on, they are still the laws that are in place at this time. So one of the ways that we can manage our concerns around that is to go, okay, these laws are in place. This is my acceptance here. What can I do in the context of the situation I'm in? Is it the wisest thing to go and shout in the face of a police officer? Maybe not. Is it the wisest thing to spit on a nurse? Most definitely not. Do you need to be surprised if you get arrested by not obeying those laws? Probably not. So what I'm starting to see here is a pattern of acceptance. So back in the day when I was terribly disabled by what was then diagnosed as multiple sclerosis, I walked, in inverted commas, around to my GP, who just happened to fortunately be next door to my house at that point. And he put me straight into hospital and gave me a transfusion. And after that transfusion, I couldn't walk. And I said, but why? I can't understand. I walked into your office, and he said, you didn't walk. You dragged yourself by force. And I reflected back, and that was exactly what I did. I was not going to let anything stop me. I had Nicola by my side, who was then quite a young child, 2 or 3. And I was dragging myself with my 2 walking sticks because I hadn't accepted that I was that unwell. Another time, the consequence of that was quite a long time in an electric wheelchair, or months in an electric wheelchair, because I just stopped. I stopped pretending, I stopped, and I eventually went, okay, what do I need to do? This is the situation I'm in. What do I need to do? And the moment I did that, my recovery started. And I don't mean my physical recovery, because that took a very, very long time. I mean my mental and emotional recovery. I was able to interact with my children. I was able to think about what my future might look like and start to come back to the techniques that in the past had given me comfort. Techniques of meditation and relaxation and some yoga. And so that's been my experience. But if you've never had that experience of knowing that you can change, of knowing that you can pivot your focus and find the joy in the experience that you're having, then you won't have built up that resilience. You won't know for sure that within yourself you can find joy regardless. And to me, that's resilience. The capacity to go, okay, this is where I am. These are my circumstances. What can I do with that? How can I pivot my life to match the circumstances that I'm in? What are my expectations? So that's what this evening's practice is going to be about. So we'll do a relaxation, and then we'll start to go on a journey of acceptance through your body, through your emotions, through your mind, perhaps even through the circumstances of your life, as it is in this moment, in complete mindfulness. And find what comes up for you after that. The solutions that you can make, the differences that you can make in your life, because that's resilience. So, whether you need support under your feet, under your knees, and behind your lower back or underneath your lower back, underneath your neck and your head, a blanket covering over your eyes, allowing yourself to be completely at ease as you are in this moment. And I'll come back to you in a few moments. So becoming aware of your breath. The breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Be with your breath just as it is in this moment. Becoming aware of your sinuses as you breathe. Awareness in your mind. Observing your breath in the back of your throat, just as it is. No need to change the rhythm. Your breath inside your lungs, gently expanding and relaxing. As you notice the movement of your rib cage with each breath. becoming aware of your belly. Once again, just as it is, no need to change anything, just observing your belly moving as you breathe. Your spine, the base of your body, your legs, observing both arms as you breathe. Whole body. Whole body breathing in, whole body breathing out. And now, as best you can, take a step back and allow your body to be breathed effortlessly. And take your attention into your emotions at the moment. Welcome your emotions as messengers. Allow them to come and sit down, have a cup of tea, old friends. No need to be afraid. And if at any point allow your inner resource to bathe you in love and warmth, as your emotions, as they are in this moment, settle. And now becoming aware of thoughts. Once again, welcoming your thoughts, allowing them to be present, allowing them to also leave, thoughts rising, thoughts falling away. Simply observing the thought and then the next one. All is well, just as it is. And now awareness of your current situation, your concerns, remembering that at any time you can come back to your inner resource, unchanging feeling of being and well-being. The feeling of being loved and warm, held. Invite acceptance into your current situation. It is what it is in this moment. Allow it to settle. Knowing that out of this acceptance and ease will arise creativity. Perhaps solutions, perhaps adaptation. Perhaps simply a deep knowledge that you will survive. And out of that survival will come love. This is resilience. Standing in the moment as it is and looking ahead. With love for what was behind you, love for what is present, and love for what is in front of you. And I invite you to bathe in this love for a few moments. And now drawing your attention back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Skin moving against your clothes as your rib cage rises and falls. Body heavy against the surface beneath you. Fingers and toes starting to move. Breath now becoming deeper. Arms and legs rolling in towards the center of your body and out towards the outside. Shoulders, hips, gently rotating. Perhaps you might like to raise your arms above your head in that beautiful whole body stretch. You may like to bend your knees and roll them from side to side. Whatever it is that brings you back towards wakefulness. If you're laying down and want to come to a sitting position, roll onto your side and rest there for a couple of breaths. And then come up to sitting. If you're wearing glasses, you might like to remove them and rub your hands together. Cup your eyes in the palms of your hands. Massage through your scalp. Around the edges and behind your ears. Into the hinges of your jaw. And if you've washed your hands along your jaw and into your chin, around your mouth. Outside of your nostrils, on the bridge of your nose, along your cheekbones, and then smooth back your forehead, crown of your head, and off your shoulders 3 times. Bringing your palms together in front of your heart if that suits. May all beings be at peace, and may all beings live in the true peace of their own hearts. And that includes you. I hope you've enjoyed our journey into resilience. And hopefully that will make you a little bit more at peace with the circumstances of our times. And I will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, this will be saved to the Splendor Yoga YouTube channel and shared with my own page and with Peace Whispering. So if you know anybody who you think can benefit this, you can direct them there. Thank you and good night.